It's Jonathan today. Jonathan Maldonado, 2022 Arcadia quarterback and DN. He does it all. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So let's get into that. That's unique. You don't see many quarterbacks also play DN. How did the season go for you in that dual capacity?
It went a lot better than everybody thought. We put in the work so we deserve to win. So I feel like I did personally good, and everybody else kind of went both sides as well. So the work we put in, it was an amazing season.
Now, I'm not the shortest guy, but the camera is cranked up here. You're like 6'6", right?
Yep, 6'6".
Oh, so as that quarterback, you can see everything out of the pocket, right?
Yes, sir.
So what offensive scheme were you guys running?
Mainly we ran a spread. That's what we practice on most. But we try to throw teams off by putting in other formations out there. So we bring in a tight end, maybe bring the receivers come in closer, just put out different type of things to throw the defense off.
So as a quarterback, do you see yourself more as a pro style, as a pocket passer, or are you a dual threat, or what are your skills in the pocket?
This past year, I'd say I was a run first actually, but I say I could also throw the ball.
I like it. So when you were dropping back, what were some of the routes your receivers were running?
Mainly we'd run shorter routes like slants, hitches, and all that. Maybe some digs, some over routes. But sometimes too, with our faster receivers, we'd catch them off guard and go deep sometimes.
Very cool. So when you were dropping back, what were some of the coverages and defenses you were seeing?
Mainly in this league, we'd see mainly cover 3 at the beginning. But once they identified kind of what our main players were, they kind of put cover 2 to be deep more, to have 2 safeties back to cover our main players.
Gotcha. When the season wrapped, looking back, what areas of your game as a quarterback grew the most?
I think my experience, just being in the game atmosphere, having coaches yelling at both sides, playing against other kids, playing against other teams, just, gaining that experience for this upcoming year.
So let's go over on defense. If that's not enough, all we just talked about that you did as a quarterback, which was a lot. Again, you're also playing defense. So what was the front that you guys were running?
Usually we have 4 people up front, so that would be.
I don't get the question.
Were you guys like a 4-2?
I think it was cover 2. No, we'd actually switch it up. So we have either cover 2 or cover 3, but mainly we had 4 people up front. So yeah.
So as that end, what were your responsibilities within the scheme?
As an end, I'd say I'm more of a speed rusher. So it'd be to contain the outside and, of course, get sacks if you possibly could, because everybody loves getting sacked.
There you go. That's fun stuff, right? When the season ended, what did you feel were the strengths to your game as a DN?
I feel like the strength to my game is mainly speed. I feel like I could pretty much beat anybody I want off of speed. And, of course, I got to get my strength up as well.
Sure, those long arms, you're getting hands on some batted balls and stuff like that.
Yes,
pressuring quarterbacks was no problem for you.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into your off-season workouts. Let's stay on defense. As that end, what are you working on with your game?
I think the main thing I really have to work on is my strength. I have to get in the weight room a lot more, and of course keep my speed with that strength.
What about as a quarterback? And let's start with your lower body, with your footwork. What are you working on with that part of your game?
Mainly what I'm working on is I go to quarterback training out at the beach. I think a lot of new athletes are doing that now. They go at the beach because the sand is supposed to slow you down. So, on turf, when you get out here, it's supposed to be a lot faster.
Okay, and then so let's go to the upper body. How are you tying it all in? What are you working on with your mechanics or your release?
Of course, I'm trying to get that strength up, but I'm also not trying to, throw out my arm or anything. So I'm also keeping my arm loose for throwing.
Okay, and then how are you expanding your understanding of the game?
I'm watching film a lot. A lot of the past year, I'm watching a lot of my film. I want to see how I did in game situations and how I can better myself for this upcoming season in game situations.
Let's start incorporating some college stuff in here. Recruiting's always fun for me to talk about. Have you been to any college camps this offseason?
Yes, sir. I've been to 2 so far. One last week and one 2 days ago.
Was it Redlands camp?
Yes, sir.
So overall, how did it go for you?
I'd say I did pretty good. I got a couple looks at quarterback and at DN. I got a couple Twitters and a number here and there. So it's looking pretty good right now.
So I know you have an offer. Which school is offered?
The University of Nevada.
That's fantastic. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
As I say, it's a silly question of the day, but what was that moment like for you getting that D1 offer?
It was out playing in Nevada. around there with the full contact. So at that point, anybody knew that we were going to have an actual season. So going out, showing out, and even getting an offer, it was just an amazing experience, and I was so happy. And it's just so good to see all my work paying off.
Let's pick up with that. So here in California, like you mentioned, didn't know if we were going to have a season, so they went 11-on-11 padded ball.
Yes, sir.
So you did that, right?
Yes, sir.
So, so that experience leading in even before the season, obviously well because you got an offer. But so were you playing DN and quarterback doing that?
Yes, sir.
And at what position did Nevada offer you?
DN.
And that's off of the 11-on-11, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations again.
Thank
okay.
you.
And then which schools are showing interest but haven't offered yet?
The schools that I have interest from is Price, University of Oregon, Washington State, Utah, and I think that's it for now.
And then are there any camps and/or visits coming up that you may take?
I got an invitation to the University of Oregon camp on July 31st.
Oh, that's awesome. You're a busy man. I appreciate your time today. Keep up the hard work.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.